Hello, hi there, how are you all doing? Yes, it's Mike here, or commonly known as the Old Git. Hope you're doing well, hope you're all feeling good. Here I am with another one of my rants, not wearing my hat today because the reflection's not too bad. The old shiny bald head's still there, and we're still doing well. Well, I'm welcoming you now, but before we start, I just want to talk a little bit about this new Labour government, this failing Labour government in many, many, many ways, which is really winding me up, you see. And when you wind me up, I have to say something. It's becoming like a communist party, a big brother communist Dharma Stasi is in charge now. And not a care in the world about what's happening on the street, especially with all the feral young people. And that's what my show is about today, feral young people and what can we do. Government Queens feels so much happier flying off all around the world and talking about climate change and giving money to people and letting the pensioners starve. They brought it all about now. And the biggest thing that's really riled me, when them three little girls were stabbed up in Southport, he turned up with a face like a smack bottom, put the flowers and went. And when the people protested because the lady put was it on TikTok or Twitter, she put something to say it was an illegal immigrant, blah blah blah. You know the story. And it turns out, and the police would have searched his place with the same day. There would have been a SOCO team in there, and they found ricin, how to make ricin, and an Al Qaeda or ISIS manual, and then they don't tell you for a few weeks after people have got absolutely. Because you know why? Because they know that people have had enough of all this, and they also know that if they have let the news out earlier, there'd have been more or less a civil war in that country that you live in. Now I say you live in because I will never go back to the UK as long as there's this government which is taking bribes, and they are taking bribes. People don't give the things that they get for nothing. Even Angela Rayner said, "Oh, I've done no wrong," but she's been done for putting something down as something else that she's got as a present. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. Knife crime. That's what I'm talking about. And the young and the feral children on the street. Now, we know we have a generation of feral children, and the smacking ban doesn't help. I was smacked as a child, and it didn't do me any harm. No, it did. No, it didn't do me any harm. And I'm not going to make light of it. I'm going to stop being jokey now because I want to get serious. And smacking, has it helped with bringing our children right? I don't know. But anyway, now police chiefs report significant rise in antisocial behaviour. It goes on to point out that the predominantly in the age group of 12 to 16. I would extend that 12 to 18 because that's where it's all going on. And after many months of increasingly grim articles by the press and also highlighted on social media platforms by the little morons themselves, I've done this, look at me, I'm, wearing a mask and thinks he's some kind of gangster. Vandalism and violence in and around cities around the UK is just out of control, and it may come as no surprise to people. I would suggest we're watching the chickens coming home to roost because we've lost control. We stopped children being children. Seen and not heard. It didn't do any wrong. They don't know nothing. This new government wants to give them votes at 15. They don't know what. They can't make up their mind who they are at 15. But anyway, that's another subject. Don't digress. But you understand what I'm saying. The chickens are coming home to roost. And it was, I think in 1982-83, that's the use of the belt or the cane came to an end. So what I'd like to do is just remind you with a little video of what it was that we used to get when we were naughty and we got the cane at school. And notice these kids are all laughing and joking, but watch it by the end.
I don't. I just don't know. No guts, no backbone, nothing to commend you whatsoever. Mere fodder for the mass media. Until someone produces a better solution, I'll continue to use this cane, knowing fully well that you'll be back for it time and time and time again. Quiet, lad, empty your pockets.
So you don't think that?
Empty your pockets, lad. Disgusting. You again? You again? Empty your pockets.
Sir, I brought a message for
Empty your pockets. I don't believe it. I don't believe this. Empty your pockets, lad. Empty your pockets and you're told. Come on, lad. Ah. A regular little cigarette factory, aren't you? Pull that rubbish away. Now, I hope it's going to be a lesson to you. I don't suppose for 1 minute it will be. I don't doubt before the end of the week you'll be back in here again for exactly the same crime, smoking. Perhaps once in a while it might sink in.
Sir.
That you're wasting your money. That it's your money that you're burning. And it's your hands that get caned when you come in here.
So there you go. Do you know, that made me cringe when I watched that, because I remember the worst time was when you got 6 of the best. And I mean, you got 6. You knew you'd been punished then, and it was awful. But it wasn't that awful, because you did learn your lesson. You know, there was no ifs or buts. You got the cane and that was it. And you remembered, well, I'm not going to do that again. But today's teachers, they are spat upon, they're scratched, grabbed, bruised, kicked in the shins, you know, winded in the stomach, punched, sworn at, attacked with improvised weapons, abused on social media, classroom vandalism. This is all going on now because there's no discipline. Children are being treated as what they're not, as adults grown up with responsibility that they don't care about, which responsibility which they can't even handle. There's been whole schools have been burnt down, and so many teachers report low-level disruption every day. It's going on. Against this grim backdrop, the schooling of the vast majority of decent school kids is ruined by this feral minority. Now, let's see the difference in the kids on the street today. The kids that are causing the trouble. And I'm going to show you a few clips of this just to bring it home. First of all, let's just have a look at this. Now this is a group of young kids. You can see how young they are. And they're attacking a man in the street. And people are laughing and they think it's funny. I think it's ludicrous. I think it's horrible that you should have to, that your children are out doing this. Here's this next bit. It's some guys just out at work in their truck doing their business. But what happens? Well, watch. That banging you can hear is the things being thrown at the truck. And as you can see on the right, these little morons, these little feral rats, road rats, are behaving despicable, throwing things, at the truck,
Keep on bringing them.
and they're reversing out, which is dangerous for them to have to do so quick, but they don't give up.
Right, here there.
And as you see, this one picks up a stone, and hey presto, he breaks the windscreen. This is not acceptable. This kind of, and your children are doing this.
Get Mark on the phone.
It's horrible to watch. Here, another gang of feral children out in the street. What reason, whatever the reason, there's no reason for them to do this, and they don't finish there. They come back and do some more. It is wrong in every way, shape or form. Your children are doing this, your little hooded clowns are out doing this. You should be, as parents, ashamed of yourselves. You might think it's good, but it's not. They're thugs. Nothing but thugs. So anyway, that just gives you an idea of the calibre of children that you're bringing up now, which I think is absolutely awful. And you should be totally and utterly ashamed of yourselves, really. Anyway, enough of that. I think it's ridiculous, but we'll move on. Now, last year there were many thousands of pupil attacks on primary and secondary school teachers across the country, and I mean, believe it or not, compensation claims for teachers have doubled in the last 3 years. And it's saying that there should be a line drawn. This shouldn't be happening to teachers. They're there to take care and educate your children. And the assaults are forecasted to increase, which is not good. And police are called out to schools dozens of times each month. And we know we have now a generation of these feral children who drink, they take drugs, they swear, they vandalise your property, they urinate in public. I'm just giving you a list of things that they do that are totally unacceptable. They have underage sex, they're truants, they intimidate younger kids, they ignore school sanctions, they have no respect for discipline, and they won't do the punishment or exercise or detention that's been set out, which causes teachers a lot more paperwork, and they're overworked with just discipline, which is ridiculous. Now, each clip I show you gets a little bit worse, but I want to keep the momentum going. I want you to watch this, and again, they have no fear of nothing. You see, again, smashing cars, harassing shopkeepers. It's absolutely ludicrous that they're doing this type of thing. Broad daylight, no fear of anything, and people are trying to run their businesses, and this is what you've got. It's absolutely awful, and it just is not acceptable. If that was one of your children, what would you do? Would you punish them? Would you keep them away from these other people? And why'd you buy your kids hoodies, right? They shouldn't be allowed to wear hoodies. They take them off. Let's see their face. Look, little morons. Anyway, as I say, these clips get worse as they go along. And that business there probably suffers a lot. Now this is, again, getting a little bit worse. Running battles in the street with machete-wielding bloody samurai swords and knives. And the police, where are the police? Where are the police? Why aren't they rounding the whole lot of this moronic gang up and getting them locked away somewhere? Or at least taking the weapons off them. You see here now that police resources are being used, and basically all that's happening here is that they're getting booed and shouted at, and no respect at all. And all I can say is that it's got to stop. This has to stop. Anyway, again, once I see these things, it really does wind me up, and I can't keep watching it. It just, why are you parents not doing your job? Anyway, that's enough of that. Some of these, like you say, carry weapons and they belong to gangs, and some of them, as you see, they vandalise cars, and they abuse the disabled people, for example. They engage in homophobic or racial or even sectarian abuse. This is what we've got running around the streets of the UK. We should be ashamed to let this be happening on our streets or on your streets, when the rest of Europe or most other parts, even some third world countries, are laughing at you because you can't control your own children. They have no respect for their peers or teachers or other children's feelings. Now, also, they throw, as you see, they throw missiles at the emergency. We haven't seen this because I have got videos, but I don't want to put them on. Enough's enough. The final video I want you to watch till the end. They throw missiles at emergency services, and they light bonfires. They defecate on war memorials, and they do these things as a provocation. They even attack children's nurseries. They damage people's pets. No regard for the police at all, and basically they just call them wimps. That's what they call wimps. It's not the police's fault. They have no power. Not enough of them. Right, the other thing that I'd like you to think about, whilst I was talking, there came an announcement, and basically, as I speak, I'm hearing of another stabbing of a 16-year-old girl at her school, and 6 pupils have been arrested, or 6 people have been arrested. That's all the news I've got, but that's happening now. Today is the 2nd of November, and the time is 13:48, which basically it's probably kids' lunchtime and they're out there stabbing each other. What is the solution? Well, before we go to the solution, I want you to watch this last clip carefully, because especially the end bit, because that just epitomizes how far the depths of these young feral rats have fallen. Just watch the end bit and pay attention to that.
Welcome to Manchester.
The worst unrest seen in the northern city for 30 years. That was the verdict of Manchester's senior police officer after a night of looting and vandalism. Hooded youths broke into shops and took what they wanted in copycat behaviour seen in London. Locals were warned to avoid the city centre after most workers were advised to hurry home before nightfall. Police arrested dozens of individuals and vowed to detain more after studying CCTV in the days ahead. In Salford, in Greater Manchester, youths took on riot police, although no injuries were reported. Birmingham saw a second night of unrest in which cars were burned and stores were raided, but this time the police response was swift. Elsewhere, a police station was firebombed by a group of 40 or so males in the city of Nottingham. After the troubles in London, West Midlands Police had prepared contingency plans with 400 dedicated officers working extended shifts across the region, in addition to local officers to protect communities.
Hey, yo, put the money on. Give me that money. Yo, give me your money. Hey, give me your money, fam. Give me the whole money. I don't want to die. Just give me some money, please. Yo, beg you, give me some money. Yo, give me your money. Give me your money. That's the reason. Give me some money, fam. Nah, I got some bullshit for them, bro. I don't want to die. Come on, bro. I can tell you want to go and just leave it. What the f*** have you? Are you okay? I need to get out, bro. Let me out. Let me out. I'm not. Oh shit. Let me out. Open the door. Let me out, bro. Oh, fucking stabbing, bro. Brother, please. He's gonna get me. Bro, I want to let me go. Bro, help me. Let me go. Let me go, fam. Bro, let me go. What? I'm not with him. I'm a customer, bro. I'm a customer. Let me go. Someone help. Go back. Steady, you know. I'm going. Nothing on me. Let me go, bro.
These teens danced and celebrated after stabbing and shooting a man at Hackney Central Station. The 20-year-old victim was shot and stabbed multiple times in broad daylight. A video of the group dancing was found on one of the teens' phones, which helped convict the group. They were jailed for a total of 77 years between them.
As you see, you'll have to excuse if you heard the phone ring. It's all done live, on off this, if you heard the phone ring and the dogs barking. But you get the gist. I hope you watched it till the end, because at the end that is the epitome. They're dancing and singing about they've just committed a murder. That is what we have, or what you have in the UK. So what solution? What is the solution? Bring back corporal punishment? Now, I've got a few ideas. Maybe you've got a few ideas. You can get, for example, these parents that are not doing their job. Give fines to these parents who don't bring up their kids in a correct manner. Hurt them in their pocket for not doing their job. You have the children, you're responsible for them. And if they still don't do it after a period of time being monitored, they have to attend compulsory parenting classes. And no attendance, no benefits. And the kids who are the subject of the bad behaviour will have to attend with the parents. And they have them as long as it takes to put them on the right track. If you hit people in their pocket and you hit people and taking their time so they're not sitting all night watching Netflix while their kids are out running rampaging all over the place, you might get some reaction. That's, I mean, what do you think? You can always get in touch with me. You know that at bestbeforetv@gmail.com or bestbeforet on Twitter, and there's other places. Of course, you can watch Best Before TV, which is the website www.bestbeforetv.com, and it's number 4. Somebody asked me that before. bestbefore TV.com. You can watch it there. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know. Now, one of the other things, and I've always said this, I've done a video about it before, hard national service, because by the time they reach 16, if they're still running around like little feral rats, they need to be taken in and controlled. So hard national service is something that I think could be fantastic. I think it would work. It doesn't have to be military training when use guns and things. I think they do enough of that on the streets. You know, national service means serving the country. And all 16-year-old boys and 16-year-old girls go in, and the first 6 weeks it's hard physical training and discipline. And then they stay in for 18 months. After that, for job education and sorted into the abilities that they may have. University courses for those who prove to be able, whilst still under the control of the state, because they're doing their national service. And if they fail to turn up for their courses, they straight back in, and they'll get some punishments and be put onto something else. some kids may try to buck their obligation. Oh, I have mental health problems. Mental health has been the biggest scapegoat in the last few years for all these children who are just bad. There is children with mental health problems, but serious mental health problems. Not that, oh, I get stressed if I have to do this. Oh, he said a hurting word, so, I need some medication. Bull crap. That's what that is. We were brought up in a strong way. We were told, well, we didn't know what mental health problems were. But there is kids that have it. And I agree, they should be treated well. But all these malingerers who use it as a way of getting out of doing what they should be doing are spoiling the treatment for the people who really need it. So, some, as I said, will try and book this, say, well, we can't do the National Service because of this and that. Well, no, okay, you book it, you will not. Because then I would say, and this could be done now, we'll set up special boot camps. And they'll be set up in remote parts of the UK. And under canvas. They'll have to build their own house to live in. And these camps will be run by military trainers, hardcore drill sergeants. And I think they would soon fall into line, and knowing that they've got 18 months of this if they don't abide by the rules and get their lives together. Let me play you the first clip, just to show you what, if you don't know what a boot camp is. Here's the wake-up call for, they don't call them delinquents, they call them for the recruits in a boot camp. Let's see what it's like to get up in the morning in a boot camp.
Pumps, jumps, bends. The shark attack is just beginning, and there is no escape.
Squat down, jump, down, jump, down, jump, down, jump.
A well-proven technique to raise the maximum level of stress and affirm his authority.
Not good enough. Did I tell you to move, yes or no? No, sir. Jimmy, just go. Get down, I said go, climber.
Sergeant Brown, Yin's right-hand woman, is one of the few women in charge of the boys, but no one even thinks of protesting against her orders. With 19 boot camps to his name, Sergeant Yin quickly scopes out his new recruits.
They're very motivated, they're very encouraged. They're following all the instructions. It's going really well here today. I got a good group of young boys. Push-ups, go! Nothing else. You understand that? Do you understand that?
On the upper floor, there's even electroshock for the girls. They represent a quarter of the recruits and are always separated from the boys.
Your actions show that you are failing!
And this is his right-hand woman, Sergeant Brown, who commands these rebellious teenagers with an iron hand.
I said
During 5.5 months, these young people will suffer in the hope of finding a new life. But will they be able to cope? Nicholas, 18 years old, is the oldest in his group. Alone and addicted to video games, he no longer has a social life and has had no friends since he was 10 years old. As a final desperate measure, his mother sent him to boot camp.
Still would rather be home than stuck here.
Why?
Here I can't really do anything with my life.
There you go, that's the wake-up call for the people. Do you know, they do have great success with this. and they don't mamby-pamby them. They don't. If you start crying, they'll probably kick you up the backside. Get down and do it. Discipline, rules, regulations, follow. Give them some way of becoming something. Now, you've got to think of this, what I'm going to say now. Those children that you are bringing up now, the little street rats that I'm going to call them, they're going to be the fathers and mothers of the next generation. And if this generation is like that, they're going to be animals. Because if these Gen Zs, or what you want to call them now, have had no parenting, how can they give parenting? So they'll be the fathers and mothers of an even worse bunch of morons. Anyway, I want to show you a little bit more about the boot camps, because I think it's a good idea. I think they would work. And let's see how these recruits are going on right now.
The boot camp has an important mission: to put these young people back on the right track.
Look at the person in front of your head.
They are between 16 and 18 years old. A lot of them have grown up in poverty, sometimes even with drugs and violence. All have failed in school. Some have even fallen into delinquency. At boot camp, Operation Shark Attack continues.
Down, you all the way down. I said squat down. Squat down all the way, candidate. You can do it. I said squat.
Hurry it up.
Join in.
Nicholas is already completely exhausted.
It's just
Hurry up. Follow the person in front of you.
Marisol has to tap into her last resources. And Cheyenne gets herself back into order.
Let's go. Figure it out. Figure it out real quick and hurry up. I want 120% now. You understand that? 120% now.
After an hour, the sergeant gives them a glimpse into what lies ahead.
Your mission for this class is to accomplish a change in your life. But in order to make that happen, you must sweat. You must work for it. You must go through the challenge and the fire today. You've been given instructions. You will comply to my instructions. If you do not comply, your cadres will come back out here and cape you. Do you understand? Yes, Sergeant! Are you ready for this? Yes, Sergeant! Are you ready for this? Yes, Sergeant!
Well, everybody, that's all I've got time for today. Hope you've enjoyed my little rant. If you've heard some noise in the background, or you will hear as I go out, the dogs barking and all the rest of it, it's because I do it all live, and obviously sometimes people turn up when they shouldn't. But that's just to show you that it's all done on the fly, and hopefully you enjoyed it. So until the next time, until the next video, hopefully go to Rumble or go to my website, wherever it is you want to go watch these videos, if you want to watch them again, and hopefully you enjoy them. I love the feedback as well. I do get nice feedback, actually. I've not had too much negative feedback, so that's good. My sound and all the rest of it's sort of, well, nearly sorted out now, and the camera that I've got now is much better than the other one. Still a little bit more to do on that, but that's it. So I've stopped being the old git now. I'm back to being Mike, and hopefully my bald head didn't shine you out of the picture, which usually does look good. See, there you go. So until the next time, like I say, you probably will hear some clatters of bags at the end of the show, but who cares? We've done it all. And so until the next time, this is me saying, see you soon.